Nelly Mwale, a lecturer in the Department of Religious Studies, School of Education at the University of Zambia. I'm one of the editors for the book that has just been launched today, which is called Chikamoneka, Gender and Empire in Religion and Public Life. And so what is interesting about this book is that it has authors from different spheres. We have scholars that are writing from theological church background, but also scholars in the field of religious studies, as well as practitioners in different fields, including nursing. This book came about as a result of wanting to put the voices of women together, that we identify that which has been oppressing women for a long time, which is empire. Empire coming in different forms of colonialism, patriarchy, culture, religion, that continues to subject women and children to different forms of injustices. So this book actually is very important because it is the first of its kind. It's a first publication for Zambia SECO chapter, and it is very important in that the voices it brings is about looking at oppression in different ways. So when you look at the book itself, it has different chapters, but put together, I think the first part of the book, I think the first 5 chapters of the book, they try to contextualize and problematize the concepts of gender, the concepts of empire, the concepts of religion, and how all these have a bearing on women. And the second part of the book is actually going into the nitty-gritties of the lived experiences of women. So this section has authors who are writing their own experiences in the church, their own experiences in society of how patriarchy, how empire, how culture has affected their well-being, and they're calling for ways in which such issues can be addressed. And the third part of the book situates issues of gender and empire in educational settings. And in this section of the book, we have lived experiences of an author who walks us through how education has had an imprint on how she perceives gender, or how she perceives reality. So the argument is that theological institutions, and indeed the whole lot of the education sector, has a bearing on defining and constructing what becomes of people. And the last part of the book is actually a summary of talking about gender empowerment, and these are accounts that look at how different women have been able to stand up and be empowered. But also we have the last chapter that talks about women empowerment in a cultural setting, in a Zambian traditional setting. And all these pieces put together, I think they are a call to rethink how gender and empire has an influence on the well-being of women, but also men and children as well. So this book, I think it's very important to anyone who is concerned about gender, about empire, and we think that it is a vital resource for people in academia, for people in sociology, for developmental practitioners. It is a key resource that talks about the lived experiences of women, but also brings out ways of rethinking about how to deal with forms of oppression that continue to change the narrative of women, children, indeed including men. So basically that's what the book is about, and would urge all those who are enthusiastic about issues of gender, about issues of empire, to definitely use it as a resource in their teaching, but also in their everyday practice. Thank you.